So getting influenced by people's hype, people's picks, and most importantly the price going up and up, but then it starts going down and down. Yeah, this is actually the hard part. So keeping capital, hugely important here that you stick to a plan, and most importantly you don't get excited by other people's hype. In this video I'm going to explain in more detail how things affected me in the previous bull cycle. I'm going to explain how I lost money, and most importantly why keeping capital for a long period of time is helpful and having a plan to deal with that long period of time. In 2017 I made a lot of money very quickly. A lot of money, right? I've done a full video on it. The problem I had was keeping it. I was looking at new opportunities, new ICOs. When the market was bad, that's where the problems led, and that's what I'm seeing now repeating. A lot of people are talking about it, and I will go into the screen in a second about things you should buy in a situation like this. Yes, in some ways you could say, yeah, go for it. However, there might be a lot more drawdown, and if you run out of your money right now, you're going to have some serious problems as an investor. You can't invest without money, and if you're stuck in a position or it's a losing trade, it then becomes an investment. So let's go into the screen, let's talk about a few things because I think it's important to note a few things. So on the screen we have a very interesting time shot. 4 years ago, the 30th of September, I was one of the people that thought the bottom was in at 6k, right? Thinking it was in, starting to invest again, and things were looking rosy, right? Everything was looking good. However, when you start to zoom forward a little bit, you'll start noticing the price didn't really move. You notice there with Bitcoin, didn't really move at all. Again, not by much. A lot of the altcoins took a bit of punishment, but Bitcoin was relatively straightforward. It bounced again, looked okay. And again, looked okay. But we're still stuck in this range. We've just fast forwarded a whole month, not a lot happened, right? Then it started to slowly change when we got into November. And you can start to see that there has been a little bit of a run to the upside here on, these months. And then it starts to go wrong pretty much about this sort of time period. We started to drop significantly. You see on the 7-day change here, we're looking pretty bad. Then it gets really bad. And it carries on. And it remains pretty bad for a long time. Going down that much hurt a lot, right? Keeping capital is huge, and best lesson I've ever had was this, knowing that I had no capital, I couldn't really reinvest much, I had to trade my way out of it, and it was pretty hard. Yes, trading at those low levels was brilliant because you obviously units versus a dollar was favourable in that time, but it still hurt, knowing that you couldn't really go balls deep buying a 3k Bitcoin again. Not an ideal situation, right? But don't get me wrong though, right? Let me just talk about it. Even today, in today's market, we are quite far away from all-time high. You can see that very clearly. So, not financial advice of course, but if you've got a plan, stick to it. I.e., if you are slowly dollar cost averaging and you think it's a good area, go for it. But be committed and be thoughtful and knowing the one thing is going to happen here. What if it goes lower? You need to be prepared for that and make sure you are, which is why keeping capital is hard. People get excited and just go, oh, I want to buy. 18k, buy, go all in. People seem to think being a degenerate or being a bit ballsy gets you clout. Sometimes it can get you poor if it goes wrong, and then you can delete those tweets otherwise, and then everything's hunky-dory, right? So you've got to be careful of that. But getting excited by other people's hype is a problem. It's a problem that you can't really curb because you may be following a lot of people on Twitter, you may be watching my videos as well as other YouTubers, and you may be getting a bit conflicted. When you're even looking now on YouTube, very simple look in the grand scheme of things here. Guess what? Well, this is happening right now. It's obvious. Videos like this, whether they're right or not, I don't know, but it's going to get you into that greed mentality, which is why my thumbnail is kind of designed to get you in. Thumbnails bring you in. Tweets bring you in. Profit, P&L brings you in. You need to be aware of that. You need to be fully aware. And when you start looking through and scrolling through and you're seeing all these kind of stuff, it gets quite noisy. And this is why I say there's literally 4 things you can simply do. And remember these. Plan your orders. Go onto Binance, go onto Qcoin, whatever, and pick out the coins that you want when you've done your research, obviously, and plot your orders. Make it go as automated as possible so you have no emotional attachment to it when it happens. For example, put an order in at BTC at 18k, because when it gets to 18k you may not buy and you may be thinking it might go lower. Just commit to it. Go lower every time, right? The next one, kind of mentioned it, but do research every so often, every quarter if you need to. Make sure the project that you want to buy, guess what, hasn't changed, hasn't sacked the team, haven't run out of money, haven't done an exit scam, because you may not be oblivious to it. Let's be honest here. That's important. Monitor your risk. The most important thing ever, risk. Don't be going 80% into into the lowest cap coin that you want to buy because you think it's going to make you millions. That's where the problem lies. All these gem hunters out there are in it for profit from the coins that they've been marketed to. They're told to promote their coins. Literally, I could give you a million examples. If you jump in my Patreon, I have a shill list. It literally is copy emails of screenshots of emails essentially into a folder, and it literally shows you what projects. And the final one is obviously take profit. Take bloody profit, because without capital you can't invest, right? What's an investor with no capital? Useless, let's be fair. So I hope that helps you, because in my opinion I think there's a big massive problem in this market. People want to get rich very quickly and they're forgetting about the obvious. Keeping capital is hugely important. Yes, you may be okay in the future, but you're going to have rubbish orders, you're going to have massive drawdown, you're going to have massive stress. And if you're not planning your orders and you're not planning for a length of time. Now, when we look at the chart here, we might be down at 18, 19, 20k for a while. We might range between 15k and 18k for a very long time. If we go lower than that, it might be there for even longer. We've got to be prepared for that. And what do you have to be prepared with? Well, capital, dollar cost averaging, consistent over time. It makes life so much easier. Anyways, done. If you enjoyed this video, I've linked up a video, a very old video of what happened to me in the bull market. If you want to know, you'll see it. If you want to join my Patreon, crack on. A lot of consistency and transparency between portfolios are going to get built there to show you what can happen over time. And yeah, don't get caught out.